Hey everybody, welcome back to Mixing Music Analog and mixingmusicanalog.com and here on the YouTube channel. And this time out, we're going to take a look and listen to the long-awaited, long-anticipated new compressor by Audio-Scape. This is the AS78, which is a faithful recreation of the URI 1178 stereo FET compressor. So we're going to take a walk through the controls. We're going to listen to it on a couple of different sources, and in the effort to keeping this video a little bit more on the short side, if you want to listen to more examples of this stuff, I can do a follow-up video. Just let me know in the comments below and we can really go deep dive on this thing. But I want to just give you an overview, tell you a little bit about Audio-Scape, and I'm also going to timestamp some of this stuff in the description in case you don't want to listen or watch the entire video, but I encourage you to do so. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know when I post other videos. Also, make sure you check out Audio-Scape's link in the description box below. You can go check out their stuff, as well as all the links for all the other gear that we've reviewed on the channel by Audio-Scape. And we have a ton of gear here by them, and they make fantastic equipment. So I'm gonna leave all the links in the description box so you can go check out all those other reviews. So, the AS78. Been looking forward to this myself for a long time. I've been talking to the boys over at Audio-Scape for the last 2 years about, hey, one of these days you gotta make an 1178. One of these days you gotta make an 1178. And lo and behold, they made an 1178 called the AS78. So a little bit about Audio-Scape if you don't know anything about them. Again, if you've heard this, this spiel before and you're a return viewer to the channel and you know all about Audio-Scape, you can click the timestamps if you wanna go right on to the listening example. But let's talk a little bit about Audio-Scape. So Audio-Scape is a small mom and pop kind of a hand boutique shop out of Florida. They have a really passionate and small crew, and they build all of their units one at a time by hand, okay? And they're all built in the great state of Florida in the United States. These are hand tested by the owner of the company, and I think one other person in the company. They hand test every single item to make sure the quality control is top notch. They are very particular about sourcing the correct components for the unit that are period correct wherever possible, and I know they take that very, very seriously. So you can assure yourself that the stuff inside of these boxes are the proper components, high quality components, and in many cases period correct to the piece of gear that they're emulating. And the AS78 is no different. And sometimes it takes a while for Audio-Scape to get these things out of production because they make sure they got the right components. So the other thing you want to know about Audio-Scape is you definitely want to make sure you check their social media links in the description box, and you want to follow them, because when they build these things in batches, and all their products in batches, they put them up on their social media pages a couple of times a week. They let you know what they have in stock at that particular time, and you got to get out there and get them right away, because they're not a large manufacturer that manufactures all their stuff overseas, and they come in big batches, and you can buy these things anytime you want. They're just not like that. They're more hand-built, one at a time, and they build these things in small batches. Okay, so make sure you check the link in the description box. Go check out Audio-Scape. And make sure you follow them. So if you're interested in one of their pieces, you can get them and you'll know when they're ready and when they're going on sale, and you can jump right on it. So we're big fans here, Mixing Music Analog of Audio-Scape. They are the first and the only company that we work with in partnership where we do reviews for their products, because I bought a couple of their pieces early on. I met the owner and a couple of the key people that work there and spoke to them many, many times. They have a great story. They're great people. They're very passionate about what they do, and I like them a lot. They're great. Audio-Scape is just great people with great products. And like I said, they're not like some of the other manufacturers that manufacture replicas of the classic gear. And some of these companies have reputations with quality issues. Some of these companies have reputations where you have to get on a waiting list and you have to buy it from overseas and it takes 6 months to get it. Audio-Scape is not like that. Audio-Scape is the exact opposite of that. Yes, you can't just go run and buy anything you want any single time, because they're hand-batched, built stuff, and you got to get on their email list so you know when the stuff goes on sale. But they make the highest quality stuff. They got fantastic customer service, and out of all the students that I know of mine that have bought their stuff, I've never had a single person ever say they bought something and didn't like it and had to return it. Never once. So I encourage you to not only take a look at the AS78, but any of their other products. So that's the wrap on Audio-Scape. So full disclosure, yes, Audio-Scape gave me this AS78 so I can bring this review to you. But as I say in all the videos that we do here, they don't get a chance to see the video before it goes live. They don't dictate to me what I can and can't say. I'm gonna tell you the truth about their stuff, and if it's on this channel, you know I like the gear, right? So, thank you, AudioScape, for sending me this product for review. I really do appreciate it. I love you guys, and I wish you nothing but the best of luck. So now before we start listening to this, we're gonna listen to this on some drums, a drum bus, maybe some acoustic guitar, and then maybe on kind of a full mix. The song we're gonna be using today is not a fully mixed song. Right now, we just threw up some faders, did some EQ and some balance. There's no other compression going on in this mix whatsoever, or anything that you're gonna hear today, except for the AS78, but the song is by my good friend, artist, and colleague, Brandon Van Allen. The name of the song we're going to be listening to, or pieces of it, is Could I Be Lucky Just Once? Make sure you check out his socials in the description box below. He's a fantastic artist, producer, educator, does everything. Check out Brandon Van Allen. I really appreciate him for allowing us to use this session, and if you want to learn more about some of the other things we do with Brandon Van Allen's music, check our archives, because we've mixed a couple of his songs in the past. But this is his brand new song, Could I Be Lucky Just Once? Okay, let's head on over to the 1178. I'm gonna walk you through the controls, and then we're gonna start off listening to this on the drum bus, and I'll show you how I have it routed. And here we go. So let's walk over to the 1178. So here we go. The AS78, I'm gonna keep calling it the 1178, and I apologize to Chris and all the boys at AudioScape in advance. But it's the AS78. Yes, it's a replica of the 1178. So let's start at the left of the unit and work our way over. So we have our input and our output here for channel A, channel B. This unit could be run in stereo or in dual mono. Here's the input and the output for channel A, input and output for channel B. We have a feature that's on this unit that isn't on the original Yuri 1178, which I really like, which is the compression blend knob. We can go all the way wet or dry or anything in between, so you can do the old parallel compression thing, which is really, really cool. We also have a stereo. We can run this in stereo or dual mono. So if the switch is up, we're running in stereo. If it's on A and B, that means you can control the input and output for the left side and the right side differently, which if you need to do that, that's really cool. We're gonna keep it in stereo right now. We also have a side chain filter, is a high-pass sidechain filter as well, which I don't believe that's on the original Yuri 1178 either. So I believe these two controls are new, some modern features to give you a little bit more flexibility, which is fantastic. We have our tack and our release, our ratios here, all the same things that you would see on the original 1178. We also have these beautiful VU meters here in the center, the great old AudioScape meters, you gotta love those. And then as we circle around here, we have our gain reduction, how we want to see the meter gain reduction. Do we want to see the meter in different ways? We can choose that here. And then we have a little power switch right here with an LED. And that's it. Pretty simple. Looks just like the good old classic 1178 with a couple of modern features. So that is the controls of this unit. And by the way, the thing is built like a tank, just like you would expect from AudioScape and all the other gear that we've reviewed from them. They just make fantastic stuff, and it's built really well. It looks beautiful, and that's the AS78 up close and personal. So now what we're going to do, let me tell you what we're going to listen to here. So the way, and again, if you want to see this in more depth in another video, let me know in comments below where we could go over and we can, turn all the controls for every single element in the mix. We can adjust attack and release and all that stuff. In this video, for the drums, I set this up the way I would set it up on a drum bus. The drums are all being routed down to a bus. There's no compression on anything. It's only just been lightly EQ'd with some panning and some quick balance. Again, it's pretty raw tracks here. I routed the drums down to two separate buses here on the origin. The first bus here is where we have the AS78. You might be able to see this in the upper camera here. So bus A, or channel 1, bus 1 is the AS78, and the way we have it set up for a slow attack, fast release. I left the sidechain filter off, and we're doing about 3 dB-ish, 4 dB-ish of compression, pretty typical of what I would do on a drum bus. Then I also routed those drums down to a second bus. You can do that on the origin. You can route it to two separate buses at the same time. On the second one, I labeled it as dry, meaning there's no compression on it at all. The compressor is inserted on the first bus, not the second. So what I'm gonna be able to do is play back this loop, and I'm gonna be able to turn one off and turn the other one on, turn that off, and you're gonna be able to bounce back and forth and hear the two. I've level matched it as good as I can here in the room. So your job here is to keep your eye on, and I'll try to zoom in on it or put some text on the screen, A is the AS78, B is no compressor at all. So we'll be able to hear it bypassed on and off because we don't have a bypass button on the origin at the individual channel, and there's no bypass button on the actual compressor itself. That is the way we're going to do it. So channel A, if the green light is on, that means it's engaged. When it's off, it means it's not engaged. A or channel 1, AS78. Channel 2, no AS78. So we're going to start off with it dry, just so you can hear the original track, and then I'll kick in the AS78, and here we go. So here's some drums from the song Could I Be Lucky Just Once by Brendan Van Dalen. Here we go. Okay, so what do I hear here in the room? Because I never know how the audio is going to come out over YouTube. It's level matched here in the room, pretty much as close as I can get it. With the AS78, you hear a lot more energy and sustain in the snare, a lot more energy in the hi-hats in that chorus section. It just makes the drum sound bigger. You can hear more of the room. It just sounds fantastic. This is kind of a classic thing for like a drum bus using this 1176, because that's all an AS78 is. It's just two 1176s in stereo, if you didn't know that. A lot of you do, but maybe some of you don't. It's just a stereo 1176. It's really what it is. And it's a classic choice for drums. It sounds great on heavy transient kind of stuff. And what's great about this, and again, we can do this in another video here, is where you can use that parallel compression knob where you can over compress it and then bring back some of the dry signal. Again, let me know in the comments if you want to see more of those kinds of things in a future video. But I love what it does on drum bus. Love it, love it, love it. Whether you're going to use it in parallel compression mode or just like this, about 3 to 5 dB of compression, it just brings a lot more life to the drums. So pay attention to the snare, pay attention to the overall room sound and how you could hear more of the room and how the drums just get bigger and fatter. Okay, so if you weren't sure what to listen for, that's what I would tell you to listen for. So we're gonna start with it dry, and then we're gonna kick it in after about 4 bars so you can hear it. Here we go. Okay, so it sounds great. It's done in a subtle way, but it really brings a lot more energy and life to the drums. I dig that a lot. Love that on drums. Okay, so now I'm gonna pause the camera here, magic of television. I'm gonna do the same thing. I got a few acoustic guitars, like kind of a strummed acoustic guitars. Got them coming down to a bus. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna reset this up so we can dial in on an acoustic guitar, and we'll see what that sounds like. Be back in a second. Okay, we're back. So now we have some acoustic guitars, kind of arpeggiated and strummed acoustic guitars that are coming down to the same 2 buses. So I rerouted everything. So once again, on bus A or bus 1 here, we have the acoustic guitars going to the AS78. I've shortened up or fast a little bit faster attack now. It's like on a medium kind of an attack, still a fast release, and we're compressing quite a bit heavier than we were on the drums. Set it to where I really thought it sounded good. And then we also routed those acoustics down to the second bus again, and that is dry. So once again, bus 1 has the AS78, bus 2 has no compression at all. We'll flip back and forth and hear what it sounds like on these two acoustic guitars. Let's go. Here we go. We'll start with it dry, no AS78. Okay, so what do I hear in this example? In this example, what I really love about the way AS78 is hitting these acoustics is it brings out the top frequencies there, makes it, you hear more brilliance, more presence. It makes the guitars sparkle a little more. Yes, obviously it hits the transient on the front end and it softens that a little bit so it doesn't get a little too pokey, but it really brings out the character of the acoustic. Sounds really good. I wasn't sure what it was going to sound like on acoustic because again, I do these kind of live. I just quickly set it up and jump here on camera. I don't spend a lot of time listening to this because I want you to get my first reaction. But that's what I'm really hearing here is the brilliance and the presence of the acoustic that it brings out. Let's listen to that. So again, we'll start with it dry, go back to the beginning of this loop, and listen to when I kick in the AS78. How all of a sudden it just gets more present and more brilliant and more sparkly sounding. Here we go. Okay, so I don't know if you're able to hear that over YouTube, but that's what it does. It really just brings some presence and some sparkle to those guitars. I really like what it sounds like quite a bit. I'm usually an LA3 kind of a guy on acoustic guitars, which again is, you know, some different type of compression, but I love the AudioScape VA3As on acoustics. Use those all the time. There'll be videos coming up on that soon too. I have a pair of those in the 500 rack. Those are awesome too. But this sounds really great, man, on acoustics. Okay, so that's what it sounds like on a pair of acoustics. We'll break again for a second. Let's set this up now. Let's just get to a lead vocal here. Let's throw this on Brandon's lead vocal and let's hear what this 1178 or AS78 sounds like on some vocals. Be back in a second. Okay, we're back. So now we got a lead vocal in solo with a little bit of reverb on it being routed down to the same two buses. Once again, bus 1 has the AS78 on it. I've a little bit faster attack now, a little bit slower release, a little bit heavier compression than what we've been doing before. And then again, bus 2, nothing at all. Switch back and forth. You can hear the difference. This is Brandon from Could I Be Lucky Just Once? Again, check his links in the description box below. We just got a vocal with a little bit of EQ, a little bit of plate reverb, that's it. Let's listen to what the AS78 does on a lead vocal. Don't know, let's listen. We're gonna start off with no compression, and then we're gonna move over to the AS78.
I heard somebody once say they were a couple of cards short of a good hand. I heard somebody once say they were a couple of chords short of a great song. I heard somebody once say. I saw somebody once cry because they couldn't pick up all the pieces and move on. I saw somebody's dream die, and they couldn't wait for that shooting star to fall. That shooting star to fall. I'm wondering what it would be like. I'm wondering if I have my time. I'm wondering, and I'm wondering.
Okay, so in this example, what I love about what the AS78 is doing to the lead vocal, I mean, obviously it's compressing it. It's really squeezing that thing and bringing it and pulling it forward like it's sitting right in front of you. When you take away the compressor, it feels like it just kind of sinks back into the mix and falls a little flat. It doesn't have that brilliance or that presence, that little bit of sparkle, once again, that we heard on the acoustics. I hear that on the upper frequencies of his voice too. Again, this compressor seems pretty versatile. I mean, like an 1176. Now they say 1176, you put it on just about anything, it sounds good. Same thing with this, right? It's very, very versatile in what it can do. It doesn't sound bad on anything. Let's listen to that one more time. And take a listen. So again, listen to the way it just brings that vocal forward and kind of feels like it opens up a little bit and gets a little bit more presence in your face, which I really, really like. Here we go. We'll start with it dry, and then we'll bring it in.
I heard somebody once say they were a couple of cards short of a good hand. I heard somebody once say they were a couple of chords short of a great song. I heard somebody once say. I saw somebody once cry because they couldn't pick up all the pieces and move on. I saw somebody's dream die, and they couldn't wait for that shooting star to fall. That shooting star to fall. I'm wondering what it would be like. I'm wondering if I have my time. I'm wondering, and I'm wondering.
So even on that last note there that he's holding out at the end, we're compressing about 10, 12 dB, and it sounds just great. Holds it really, really nice, and when a little bit slower release, it just kind of holds it there. Sounds really great. Sounds really great. So once again, I think this AS78 is super, super versatile. I think it's fantastic. So, and again, in an effort to keep this video a little on the shorter side, we're going to kind of end it there. I want you to leave comments below and let me know. Do you want me then to finish up this mix and maybe drop it on the master bus? Do you want to see some more ways that we can use the AS78 maybe in a parallel compression kind of a thing on drums or an entire mix? Let me know what you'd like to see in the comments below, and we'll do a follow-up video very, very soon, and we'll get a little bit more up close and personal and dive a little bit more into the details on what the AS78 can do. But that gives you a really good kind of an example of how it sounds on 3 different sources. Again, very flexible, built like the AudioScape quality stuff is always built. It's built top-notch, it sounds good. And I'm not surprised and I'm not disappointed by this one because every piece of gear I've used by them sounds great. And again, I want to thank the boys and girls over at AudioScape for sending me this unit. I really love it. I'm so excited whenever you guys put out a new piece of gear because I just know it's going to be top notch. Make sure you go out to AudioScape, check the link in the description box below, follow all their social media, and if you have never tried an AudioScape piece before, they make all kinds of stuff. Go check out some of the stuff on their website. Try it out. If you don't like it, return it to them. I'm sure they would give you your money back. I'm sure they have a great return policy, but I've yet to hear of anyone ever return any one of their pieces of gear. And I have several pieces of gear in here. Some I've paid for, some AudioScape has given to me as we're working in this partnership here. And I haven't sold one piece. Why? Because it's fantastic stuff and I use it on every single mix. Every single mix I use their stuff because it just sounds good. So once again, like, share, subscribe. Let me know what you thought about the AS78. Let me know in the comments if you want me to spend more time with it and do a follow-up video. And until the next video, I've been Dave with Mixing Music Analog and mixingmusicanalog.com. Thank you so much for watching me today, everybody, and I'll see you guys in the next video.